Hello, this is SK Williams, and this video shall focus on me telling you the future projects that I have in mind for my channel. I've already given a rather long update video on that topic, and I don't know if this one will be as long or not, but the difference between this and the previous update video is that my plans are a bit more concrete. So, to get right into it, this channel began to host 3 series. A commentary series by me in which I discuss various topics of the day, the college series, a series that is based upon the college coursework that I did, but set to animated adventures to make it more fun to watch, and 3. The Bible, which would have been followed by other sacred scriptures and other literary works, run through a text-to-speech program and set to animation. Only the third one was actually ever uploaded in any capacity, and even then it was done in a modified form, albeit one that actually improves the quality of it. You see, instead of running the Bible through text-to-speech, I began reading it myself. Specifically, I began reading the Bishop's Bible of 1568. This was, of course, not a text-to-speech like I had originally planned, but I do think people appreciate an actual human reading over a mechanical one, even with the improvements we have with text-to-speech. That isn't to say that I've abandoned the text-to-speech process altogether. There are many public domain Bibles that have historical relevance, and I can't really be expected to read them all, although I might one day get around to them, so many of them will be presented in text-to-speech format. I simply haven't done so yet. In addition to these 3 projects, I planned on doing a few other things here and there. Nothing was ever made concrete, but I thought about doing plays, like Shakespeare, for instance. But then, various things happened in my life. I won't dwell on them. I've talked about them in previous videos, but I had trees fall in my yard twice. I had to do home repairs, of course, after that. I had surgery, and I am preparing for another surgery now. I became ill, I fell behind at work, and, of course, my brother died. All of this slowed the channel down considerably. It also prevented me from doing what most people do when they begin making videos on YouTube, and that is improving. I have been making videos now for about 3 years for YouTube, but I haven't really grown as a producer. And maybe I can't. Maybe this just isn't my talent, but it doesn't really matter. I enjoy doing it, and I will. But I do think I can improve myself. I just haven't had the opportunity. Truth be told, given everything that's happened in my life, I feel that I've only had 6 months worth of experience, and that part-time, rather than 3 years. But even if I don't improve, like I said, it will be fun to present. I just think I can. So here is what I plan on doing when it comes to my channel for now. The 3 premiere series shall themselves premiere on my channel in 2020. I intend on resuming reading the Bible. I may not continue with the Bishop's Bible. I instead may move that to Amazon. I do fully intend on completing the Bishop's Bible readings, but I may not release them to YouTube because no one seems interested. I will instead pick another Bible to read. If I had more viewers who were more engaged, I would actually ask opinions on which one to use, but I don't. So I'm going to have to make that decision on my own. Still, I intend on using the Jewish order of books. This is because the Jews count 24 books for Tanakh, or the Jewish Bible, and this means I can get 2 books a month and have the entire year. I probably won't actually do 2 books a month, though the longer ones may be 1 book a month, but Some of the shorter ones might be 3 or 4 a month, so I'm hoping it balances out. And I'm hoping to have the entire Tanakh, or as Christians would call it, the Old Testament, completed by the end of 2020. I shall then move on in 2021 to the Deuterocanon, or the Apocrypha, and in 2022 to the New Testament, although I may combine the Apocrypha and New Testament since collectively they are still shorter than the Old Testament, and I may be able to complete them either by the beginning or middle of 2022, but I won't promise that. I will personally be reading the Bible, and I will be beginning again at Genesis chapter 1. With that said, I also intend on presenting a text-to-speech Bible, my first full text-to-speech Bible for this channel, and it will be the Wycliffe Bible. I may premiere that, though, at Christmas. I don't know if I would premiere it on Christmas Day or at the beginning of Advent, but we'll fly that one out. That one will come shortly before my personal audio readings, partly because, of course, a text-to-speech processing of this does not take anywhere near as long as my personal readings would. The college series will also premiere in January. This time I mean it. I am working hard to complete it now. I've revised the storylines, and I am going to present it starting in January. And my commentary series will also begin in January. Although I won't begin it formally until July because it is personal to me. I'm only going to do a bit of an inauguration in January to say I began all three in January. But the first actual commentary will be in July of 2020. So what do I do for the rest of this year, though? Well, I could just do nothing and not upload videos, but I do want to keep this channel at least marginally alive and perhaps grow viewers. So I'm planning on doing this. A few random slipshod commentaries. They are not part of my commentary series, because, well, they just aren't. They're not going to be done in the same format. I'm just going to turn on the microphone and talk. And I do intend on doing these general commentaries even after my formal commentary series begins. The formal commentary series will be set up in a specific way, and the general commentaries will be more fluid. I will also do a few targeted videos which I write more expensive scripts on and present well, but they will be more special presentations and documentaries. I may also read a few poems and a few other public domain works. But for the rest of this year, I don't plan on doing anything on a rigid schedule. I intend on simply presenting things. I do intend on doing a documentary on the origins of Christmas. This will be my third. I will do, but in reality, it's not going to be as good as the one I had hoped. Starting in January of 2020, I plan on working on a better commentary, on a better documentary, a better documentary on the origins of Christmas, and releasing it in December of 2020. Then in 2021, I will release a complete documentary on the origins of Easter. But this year, I'll just revisit the same things I've already done, but make it slightly better than the previous two videos that I've already completed for this channel, sort of keeping a tradition alive. Although I don't actually intend on doing an Origins of Christmas video every year, I just want to do a proper documentary of it that can stand up and be well made. I just am not capable of doing so now, both because of my lack of technical skills and because of my want of time. But I will do a documentary about the origins of Christmas that is better than what I have done previously, as well as the origins of Easter that are better, leading up, hopefully, to the finalized documentary that will be my official one. In addition, I don't know when I will begin this, but I do wish to begin a new series. This one can be seen as a Christian apologetics, series, but it's not really my intention of turning this channel into an apologetics channel, or a Christian ministry of any sort. I myself happen to be Christian, but I wish this channel to maintain its neutrality as an educational platform, even if I'm not particularly good at running it. I am, after all, a one-man show. But it's hot and I'm running fans, and you can hear those in this video, so you know what kind of videos I tend to make right now. Perhaps if I make enough money, I will get a private sound room, or at the very least get an air conditioner and put it further away from the microphone. Still, the reason I wish to make this is because militant atheism, as well as certain other groups that don't like Christians, have popularized certain claims against Christianity that simply are not true, and that I find to be rather destructive to society as a whole. But I'm not going to turn my attention fully to militant atheist claims in general, although I do intend on doing a few commentaries on some topics that interest me in that regard. But I also want to do something else, and it's something I've already begun. After my brother died, I turned to the Bible. I am a Christian after all, and even though my channel is neutral, that doesn't mean I have to be completely void of a personal religious belief in my own life. But I've always had a bit of an argumentative nature. It's one of the reasons I excel in academia, but don't particularly do well when it comes to the internet, where it's a text-based environment, because I do tend to have a combative nature. It's one of the reasons why in my earlier days I did in fact engage in a lot of debates with militant atheists, because I enjoyed arguments. Though militant atheists don't like arguing with me these days, because I've learned way too much about religion, and, well, while they'll claim that I'm an idiot and I'm not worth their time and stop talking to me, the truth is I always win the debate. They won't admit that, but I do. And I'm not saying that to brag. The truth is militant atheist arguments are always bad, but to get to the point. As a part of therapy after my brother died, I revisited the Skeptic's Annotated Bible by Stephen Wells. This is a website that is rather notorious online and lists all of the problems of the Bible, ranging from contradictions to its atrocious family values, to its atrocities, to its absurdities, to how it treats women, gay rights, and things along those lines, though it does have a list of good stuff. But the interesting thing about this is that I have been well aware of Skeptic's Annotated Bible for years, and its arguments have never been that impressive to me. In fact, many others have noted it's just snarky comments that Steve Wells makes. Nevertheless, it is still used as a resource to show problems with the Bible. So I have decided to look over the entire Skeptic's Annotated Bible and answer each objection. I originally intended on going over every list, but when it comes to things like good stuff or what celebrities have said about the Bible, I just don't care. I'll go into more detail when I go into my introduction to the Skeptic's Annotated Bible series, but for now, while I don't know when I'll premiere this, I may premiere it this year or next, I do intend on reviewing every criticism in Skeptic's Annotated Bible and explaining why they are not as convincing as previously seen. I may also do this with the Skeptic's Annotated Quran and Skeptic's Annotated Book of Mormon, but let's be honest, it's all the same website. And I'm doing this, like I said, for therapy. I am not doing this to turn the channel into a Christian apologetics, but I do think that it does have educational merit, since a lot of what I will say is not what a typical Christian apologist would say. After all, I'm coming at it from an academic perspective. Much of it will come from a perspective of someone who has studied theology and will explain why this text is wrong, but I've also studied history and would like to point out other issues. So, going over Skeptic's Annotated Bible shall be interesting for me, especially since many of the arguments on the site are used frequently by other atheists, whether they've used Skeptic's Annotated Bible or not, since The Skeptic's Annotated Bible is more of an aggregate for old arguments that someone else made that Wells simply compiled than a genuine work of independent research. And that's what I plan on doing for the rest of the year. General commentaries on various topics. In addition to that, a documentary on Christmas, as well as a Christmas address for the holidays. And a review of Skeptic's Annotated Bible, and, hopefully, the Wycliffe Bible presented in text-to-speech format. I do have a few other series I have planned, but I won't mention them in this video. Well, I don't have much else to say, so thank you, God bless, and a goodbye.